Still trying to figure out how to connect to your husband? Well, stay tuned and watch how I can teach you how to make that connection real. So men have kind of a big struggle that they face in their life because men really are in charge of the projects, the fixing, making sure everything's good, solving problems. But how do you emotionally connect to your husband when he's such in project mode? As a woman, what's happening is you want to have a conversation, but he's still working on the projects and the problems you gave him yesterday. And a man's mind is very mechanical, and when it gets into a project, it's thinking about it constantly. And what happens is he can withdraw from you because he's trying to help you feel good and safe and help the family progress because he's working on projects. Well, that emotional connection can start to waver, and it can actually start to, literally evaporate and not even exist. So what do you do? How do you switch it so that you can create that emotional connection with him and be able to have that real good solid relationship that you've always wanted? Now remember, every time you bring up a problem to your husband, he's going to try to fix it. Even if you don't ask him to fix it, he's going to try to fix it. So be careful where you send your husband's mind, because if it's all about problems, he's going to be in fix mode, and he can't be emotionally connected to you if he's having that many problems that he has to fix. So how do you connect to your husband emotionally when he's such in fix it and project mode? That's a good question, right? Well, let's continue to talk about how this even got created in the first place before we get into literally the 5 solutions that are going to make a difference and bring that emotional connection back. So again, your husband is a man who wants to fix things to make you happy. And he's a man who wants to make sure the rules and all the things that are going on, the guidelines for the family, and everything's being followed. So he's going to want to fix, he's going to want to make things better, he's going to want to solve things, and he's going to want to provide and protect. And so as long as he's in that mode of being one of those particular titles, he doesn't have time to emotionally connect to you. So how do you get your husband to really come back and be emotionally connected to you? Well, as a woman, you can create that experience in 5 steps. So one of the first steps you want to look at is, how do you create a safe space? And a safe space means stop bringing up problems. Don't bring up issues with kids. Don't bring up problems around the house or something that's broken. As long as you keep talking about those things that are going on in the family, the house, and those kind of things, he's not going to come out of project mode. So to create a safe space is to talk about your relationship. Talk about what you love about him, what you love about the marriage, what you love about where you're going as a family, and the progress that you're making. And if you can create some safe conversations like that, you'll notice he'll start to engage in the conversations about you as a relationship and you as a couple. But if you go into the car, the house, the yard, the kids, money, bills, and that kind of stuff, you're going to lose your husband. So to create a safe space means to literally, provide that place where you literally are talking about the relationship. Then, of course, if you get your husband really talking about, you as a couple, well, then you don't want to talk about things that are wrong in the couple, because then now he's going to bring some things up and you're going to go into fix-it mode, and you're still not going to emotionally connect. So it's super important that when you get your husband talking about the relationship and what you love about, your marriage and where you're going, listen, because when you get him to start sharing, don't you turn into the fixer. Because when a man starts to share, his feelings are going to come up. And sometimes when feelings comes up, he might talk about the things that are tough or difficult or challenging. And now you could end up being the fixer person, and now you're back into the same thing you were doing before. Both of you stay out of the fix-it language. Share and listen, share and listen. That's how you emotionally connect, is you just share and listen. Nobody's fixing anybody. No fixing. Okay, the next one that really makes a difference is allow him to feel. You can feel, he can feel. If he's happy, he's upset, he's struggling, he's lost, he's confused, it's okay. It doesn't mean you're going to lose your husband. It doesn't mean you're going to lose your marriage. It means that you guys really are now starting to emotionally connect because you're allowing each other to literally just feel. And don't try to outdo each other on those feelings, like who feels worse, in that situation. But to emotionally connect means to emotionally share. And if both of you can talk about this and not go into fix-it mode, boy, you're going to have a fantastic relationship. Every woman, every man wants to emotionally connect because you really feel close in those moments. But you got to allow each other to feel. Sometimes what happens is we start to feel and we want to make it better and make it go away. Allow it to feel. Now, another thing about your husband is sometimes he's Superman and sometimes he's Kent. It's just like sometimes he's the goofy guy and he doesn't know what he's doing. And there's other times he can be Superman and he can fix things. But realize that he doesn't have to be Superman all the time. And really give him that permission that he doesn't have to know all the answers. Because as a woman, that many times you go to your husband hoping he's got the answer to everything. Got the answers to solving the kid problems and homework issues and why the dishwasher doesn't work and why the drain is clogged and why the toilet's broken. I know you go to him thinking he's always got to be Superman, but allow him to be Kent. Allow him to be the goofy guy that just is clumsy and kind of like, he doesn't have to know everything. If you always go to him with that expectation that he's supposed to know it, it's too much pressure. And so what does that mean? Well, Kirk, where do I get all my answers if my husband doesn't know everything? Well, you can talk to him about the challenge and then you can brainstorm together where to find the answer. It doesn't always have to come from him. You see, something to realize is a man's value comes from providing service to others. And if he can't fix it and he can't solve all your problems, he's going to feel worthless. And so don't make him have to be the Superman all the time. And when he's goofy, because a man's got his goofy side. He's got his goofy side where he just plays and he turns into like this little boy and he does, his little things, or he makes noises, and how sometimes you kind of, I'm not going to say mock, but I'm going to say, you know what I'm talking about. Your husband gets into that funny, goofy side, and then you kind of look at him like, oh, honey, why are you this way? What you want to do is when he's in that playful mode, be playful with him. A man who is playful can do really good at providing and protecting you and your family. He really can. But if you tease him about his goofy side and he always has to just show up as Superman, he can't. And you're going to disconnect from him. So allow him to be Kent. Allow him to be Kent. And then number 5. And these are great because I know you want to be emotionally connected. Here's a great one. You get a journal, and in the first page of a journal, just a little journal, just a little book, it's super inexpensive, get a little journal. On the inside of the cover of the journal, dedicate the journal to your husband. A great way to emotionally connect your husband is to write him a journal entry every day. Don't share the journal with him. I mean, I'm not saying you can't, but this is like just between you and him. It's like when you're dating and you found your boyfriend and you write about your boyfriend in your journal. I mean, you are so emotionally wrapped around that boyfriend. It's just ridiculous. And that journal is just so private because it has all your thoughts and your feelings. There's nothing wrong with having a journal while you're married and to write your feelings and how much you love him and what you love about him in your journal. You see, part of being emotionally connected to your husband is you wrapping your emotions around him. Not only when he does good things, but literally each day, a small entry about what you love about him, what you appreciate about him. What did he do good? What do you love about his face features? What do you love about the way he holds you or touches you? And I'll tell you what happened is you will pour emotion out and around him, and he will feel it, and he'll respond to it. But that is a powerful way to emotionally connect with your husband. So check it out. All you gotta do is do one of these, do 2 of these, do 3 of these, do 4 of these, 5 of them. Of all of these though, I'm gonna suggest to you, number 5 will gear and calibrate your mind and open up your heart to really open up and bring him closer to you. You'll be a lot softer and gentler, and you'll allow him to be exactly who he is, that authentic, amazing man, and you'll emotionally connect. So with these few steps that you watch here, you know this is going to make a big difference. I hope you loved what I shared with you. In fact, click subscribe because I've got more great training coming your way.